watching a different show. It's donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. And what, is everybody hungover because they lost their hour of sleep? Or does everybody... don't get me started on this time change thing. Isn't it like it used to be half the year Chicago was on the same time as Notre Dame for half the year? Then it changed through the year, but then didn't Indiana pass a law where they didn't change the time? And then it gets it all messed up. All I know is people lost an hour of sleep last night and they're all grumpy. That's all I know, right? I don't understand all that. It messes with me when we were an hour behind. So if I'm like 9 a.m. is always when we want to start our tailgates, right? 9 a.m. So for me to do the 2-hour drive, 7 a.m. gets me there at 9 a.m. to be ready to do all this. But when the time changes, I got to leave at 6 a.m. because 6 a.m. is really 7 a.m. Then the 2-hour drive. That's what gets me. That's what gets me, man. It's like 7 a.m., the 2-hour drive, 9, no big deal. But when you lose that hour, so I don't know. Dr. John, good to see you. My dad, live from Florida. What's going on? Yeah, I don't understand this time change thing. I like gaining the hour of light. I just don't like the first few days in the week of it, because then you're like your whole world's off because your body's not ready to be up an hour early or whatever. Kids, you could trick. You just make your kid go to bed early and they don't know the difference. But so I don't know. All I know is, yeah, Jay Carr, how'd you know? Don't be trying to get me in trouble. What are you trying to do that? Why are you trying to get me in trouble, Jay Carr? I'm not taking the bait. Somebody did see, I got a new Patreon little segment coming out. Always Irish in the Wild. I think you guys are going to find it mildly entertaining and very, very different. Definitely very different. But somebody said, is your episode in the wild you getting a dipped Italian beef at Portillo's and eating it? No. I'm not doing that. Again, texture, you guys. It's about the texture. There's nothing that would make me want to eat mushy bread. I can't understand how that's appealing to anybody. You're taking away the whole breadness of the bread, which is to provide some structural foundation of whatever you're eating. That is the point of the bread, you guys. Structural foundation, solidarity around whatever you're eating. If it's all mushy, you're losing all the integrity of the whole project. And I'm big on texture. That's why I can't eat a banana. It's kind of soft, but it's kind of mushy on the top and the bottom. And it has that weird membrane when you peel. Oh, I can't. I'm going to barf just thinking about eating a banana. I would be a horrible monkey. I can't, Phil. I can't. You guys stop. I need some structural integrity to my loaf. Okay. And so, no, I'm not eating mushy bread. It reminds me of barf. It reminds me of what comes up after. I just can't do it. I can't do it. And you guys are trying to get, you guys are the worst. And it's always the ones closest to me that know me the best. You guys are the worst. Sly and Phil. Rudy, get them under control, Rudy. You're the team mom here. Get them under control. Tex ND. I've seen some good structural loafs in my Airbnb. I'll still never forget when Tex ND gets to the tailgate and I'm like, oh, how are you, man? How was your trip in? All this stuff. And he's like, yeah, I walked into my Airbnb in South Bend and there was just a big piece of poop on the floor. Like, sorry I asked. Like, I was just trying to be nice. Sorry I asked. Never mind. I don't want to know anymore. That's amazing. If that doesn't entitle you to a discount, I don't know what will. So you guys are hilarious. We're losing the hour of sleep, so everybody's a little off today. So let's get into this. I got a couple interesting things to go over. Here's number one. If anybody didn't get in their Lou thing and you want to drop a Lou thought or whatever, God bless you. Like, feel free. Go ahead and talk about Lou if you want. I got a couple interesting notes here. More evidence and proof that Notre Dame's expected to have like an elite title chase season. Interesting comments from Pete Bevacqua and Nick Saban, by the way. Interesting comments about NIL, the portal, where all this college sports is going, all that kind of stuff. Really, really interesting. Yeah, I think I've had a Monte Cristo before. I think those are pretty good. It's rare, though. I haven't had one in a long time. I know my dad likes those. I haven't had one in a long time. I think I would eat it unless it comes with any sort of weird stuff on it. I have to get rid of that. I don't know. The basics. Did you see the ex-player come out as a retort to Saban's? Here's my pushback on that text, ND. Here's my pushback on that comeback that guy had. It came from the account No 3 Sports, not On 3 Sports. That is a parody channel. So I am not, if that's what you're talking about, I saw it as well. But if you notice the account that put that out, it was No 3 Sports, not On 3 Sports. And it has the little logo and it kind of looks like it and all that. But I didn't react to it because it came from No 3 Sports, not On 3 Sports. And I think that's parody account. And I don't know if that was a made up quote propagating that account that looks like it. I saw it on a few different accounts. Yeah, but if they rip it from that one and then post it, you don't know where it came from. That's the issue I have, is like people rip it and then go post it. The original one I saw came from No 3 Sports, which is a parody account. So I'm not going with that. I'm going with my personal knowledge of how Alabama filtered money in and out of that program. That's what I'm going with. I know people that have seen things, heard things, and even done things. Although I will say the guy that did things was before Saban's era. I'll give you that. But I know people that have seen things, heard things, and done things regarding Alabama and money. But I am going to say the guy I know that was involved, it was before Saban, but an Alabama thing for many decades. Okay, so that's where I'm at on that. But yeah, no kidding. Yeah, so we're gonna get into some of this. So thanks for being here. There's a few of you guys waiting. I'm gonna put the link in the description here. So thanks for being here. I know you're all extra sleepy. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it, subscribe. Oh, by the way, I don't know what's going on. having a problem uploading episodes on Spotify. I'm a little behind. It's nothing on my end. I looked it up on social media. Other people are having it. There's an issue. There's some glitch. So if you get this stuff on Spotify, you might have to go through YouTube for a while. I don't know what's going on, but they're having a hard time uploading. It's always something. It's always something. So bear with me on that. Get them going as I can. As always, you can find the program at YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter search bar always Irish rat. Always Irish egg. Tried mushroom coffee this morning. Yuck. The only way I'm trying mushroom coffee is if I start seeing rainbows and leprechauns in 20 minutes after drinking it. Emails, always irishnd@gmail.com. Audio only. Anywhere you want it, you can get it, except for not right now because it's not letting me get it. Anywhere you want it, you can get it usually, except for right now. I don't know why. I upload everything the same way I have 1,000 times before, and it's not working. It's got to be something on their end. I guess we just sit and wait. Notre Dame on SI, read all about it. A couple of Lou articles up. People have enjoyed those. So thanks to everybody who reads the articles. It's a different way to get the information out. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. Here's what I'm excited for. Tonight will be the first Monday Night Raw we've had since Lou Holtz has passed away. And I'm very, very interested to hear what Mike Goolsby has to say about this. I think Mike was one of the last captains in the Japan Bowl in 2009 when they redid that team and went and played, and Lou was the coach, and Goolsby was one of the last captains Lou ever had in the last game Lou ever coached in that Japan Bowl. I really, really want to hear his thoughts as somebody that's been in a locker room with Lou Holtz giving a motivational speech. There's a lot I want to hear from Mike about that. Maybe restart the computer. Man, it ain't a restart the computer issue. I do the same thing 1,000 times a year, and it's just like clockwork, and then now it isn't working. Then I look on the internet, and there's other people with the same issue. It tells me it isn't just me. Anyways, that's my problem, not your problem. But you could still get it. You just might have to get it on YouTube for a while. I don't know what's going on. And here's the other thing, too. I know we're in modern times, right? With everything, AI, whatever, man. These companies just need a phone line for support with a real person that speaks English. Why is that so hard, Dad? I just want to be able to call 1-800, I got a problem, and be able to say, here's my issue. Can you tell me what's going on? No. Oh, you can email support. Then you email them. Then you get a link, and it says, go to our AI bot for help. I don't want to talk to a robot. I want to talk to a stupid person. Son of a buck. I want to talk to a person. And one that speaks English. I don't think that's too much to ask. Update Spotify. How do you even do that? I don't understand. I have a website. This isn't some app. I go to the website and just upload my podcast every day. I don't know how you update that. It's just a website. Son of a buck on the technology. Help a brother out. I just want to be able to call and say, here's my problem. Can you tell me if it's a me problem or a you problem? Email for support. I get an email right back. Go to this digital AI help thing and the computer will tell you, I just want to talk to a person. Okay. Glad I got that out. If you got that hate in your heart and technology, let it out. I do. $2 holler from Rodney, Lou Holtz to Marcus Freeman. It's full circle moment. It's interesting you bring that up, Rodney. I got an episode coming out on Patreon. That's literally like the genesis of the whole thing. That's literally the genesis of the whole thing, and Lou dying, and you're in your emotions, and everything comes full circle. That's all a part of one of the episodes I have coming up this week. Okay, let's look at a couple. Yeah, just ask Chiefs. That's funny. All right. Truth, John. I hate the bots. It's just so generic, man. Like, I would like to talk to a person that I know understands exactly what I'm saying. And if the answer is, we have a little glitch in our system, give it a day or two, we'll work on it. I'm fine with it. Then I know there's nothing I can do. Just chill out. But if you don't know whether there's a problem with you or the system, then what do? Telling me to reboot Spotify. It's just a website. How do I reboot a website? John says, I am a bunch of glitches. Glitches and twitches. Let's get into a couple of your chats, then we'll get into some of this. Tex ND, look at this. Good morning, Johnny and the Always Irish family. Hope all are well. Last show for a couple weeks. I'm leaving for Italy on Wednesday. After that, it's blue and gold prep. Well, aren't you fancy going to Italy? I like it. Totally expecting a daytime savings rate. And whatever, man. I really enjoyed that extra light in the summer. 7 o'clock, you're doing yard work. 8 o'clock, you could do anything. I enjoy the extra sunlight. I don't like the first couple days your sleep's messed up. That's it. Renee, can't wait for Blue and Gold Week. I really need a week off and to be at campus with the AI family. What is it? 40. Here you go. Sly. Only 47 more days. That's assuming I make it in and out of Disney, by the way. We got that coming up in like a week and a half. This is all only happening at Blue and Gold. If I survive a week of Disney, it isn't going to be a week, only a couple days, I think. And I know people like, don't give Disney your money or whatever. Bro, you have little kids and family in Florida. They're going to Disney at some point. You're going to have a mom revolt if you try and go against it. So I'm going to try my best. Dr. John asked how my daughter's school event went last Wednesday, why I didn't have a live show. They do a spring concert where all the kids in kindergarten, they each have an instrument and they're singing spring songs. It was wonderful. So we did that, went out to eat for a nice brunch after. It was beautiful. I'm glad I went. Jay Carr. Spring forward time change, vastly superior to the fall fallback. Again, the worst drawback in the fall is, I remember this, when you lose that hour, you lose the hour of daylight that you could be golfing. That's where it hit me. Fall golfing, when you lose that hour of light, it's brutal. When you're trying to get the final 9 holes in, you're losing that hour of light. It's really, really tough. But you gain the hour of sleep. I feel like it's harder on people's. Obviously, having less sleep's harder than having too much sleep. Lou's funeral, I think they're streaming it live, or they're streaming the wake live. They're streaming something live. We're going to watch it. It's going to be a weird. I don't know when's the last time you live stream watched a funeral? Michael Jackson. Literally, when's the last time you live stream watched a funeral? I remember when Michael Jackson died, it was a big deal. And they turned the funeral into a concert. John Mayer was up there playing over the casket. You had all sorts of stuff. I don't know. I hate both time changes. There you go. That's fair. If you got a hate in your heart, let it out. They don't bother me till July and August when it's still light. I like that when it's like 8:45, there's still light, but I forgot. If you're in the Eastern time zone, it's another hour. So you're getting it's light until midnight. Look at this. Sid Irish. I think Greenhouse is a nice number 2. I didn't know we got him in a portal. Who's this Greenhouse? Give him to me. I hope the Greenhouse makes the flowers bloom of all this Notre Dame offense busting out. I love the Greenhouse. Greenhouse and Great House are going to be a great 1-2 punch. I love it. Liam. Daughter came in 5th place in the spelling bee out of 100. That's very impressive literacy from your child. We threw the trophy out on the highway on the ride home. I could just see it. It isn't even sports. It's something academic. And Liam's like, you're first or you're last, little girl. Whips that trophy out. And the same thing happens to the trophy that happened to Chubb's hand in Happy Gilmore. He hits it. And he goes, don't worry about that. It's made of wood, real sturdy. And then the truck drives over it. That's what Tex ND did with his daughter's trophy. 5th place. You're out of the house. Rodney, Lou Holtz to Freeman. I'm thinking about this, man. I'm thinking about this. Here's the thing with Great House, by the way. I'm not sure I trust him. I would argue the best football you saw from Great House was in that playoff run. He turned it on. He kind of became a go-to clutch guy, a lot of big plays at key times. But what happened last year makes me wait and see. You had a nagging injury thing that pretty much cost the guy the whole year. I am not sure what I can rely on. Am I expected to just skip all of last year's data and just magically go freeze my mind back into time from the playoff run? So I'm struggling there. So he's got injury concerns. So I'm worried. So I don't, that's just me. You guys know I'm a worrier anyways with all things Notre Dame, but I'm going to be nervous about his reliability until I see him be able to be out there a lot. He's a volume receiver. Well, the volume was on mute when he had an issue and was out most of last year. So if it's a volume receiver, the button was on mute for a whole year. Whole damn year. He was on mute. So I got to believe it to see it. Okay? Availability is your best ability. Before I worry about how good you are or could be, I need you out there. I'm serious, Jay Carr. He's a volume receiver. Well, what's good's the volume if it's on mute? You're not getting nothing. You're not getting nothing. So, I don't know. It's a little tough, man. It's a little tough for me. Johnny, watch out for the tornadoes tomorrow. Be safe. Here's the issue. What makes me nervous is I think about all this stuff. I want to go tornado chasing this summer, by the way. I got myself a new high-tech camera and wireless mic system. I want to go on the road tornado chase. But here's the issue. The issue is my daughter has gymnastics, and it's Tuesday evenings, like 4 to 5 o'clock. Prime Midwestern tornado time. You usually, when you get those spring storms, the moisture and everything builds during the day, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, those storms are rolling. That's right when I'm in this abandoned barn with 900-foot ceilings, perfect tornado magnet. Woo! By the time you hear the siren, you're gone. You're gone. So I don't like this whole thing of this all being right when we're in this gym with 100-foot ceilings. I'm going to have to go outside like the Wicked Witch. They said somebody might drop out on you, and she does one of these. I'm going to be looking in the parking lot. It's a twister. It's not what I want to say when we're stuck in a gym with 100-foot ceilings. Let the horses run free. Let the horses run free. Ooh, you guys are with some great out. Man, you guys have opinions on this. Salty Virginia nuts. The great one is always clutch. It's just a matter of targeting him. He's had one drop pass in his career. Contested catch percentage leads all college receivers. That only does me any good if he's out there every week. I am not doubting the statistics you just presented the crowd. I'm just saying, if you're not playing, I get 0. So, and last year was pretty much a 0. I just want the guy to be healthy, and then I think it'll be okay. But I can't enter after last year. I can't enter this year trusting you. Kidding me? Tom Frowley, God bless you, man. Tom Frowley's a little under the weather. I believe he's reporting to us live from a local hospital. So, like, God bless Tom Frowley. I got one serious question. Who the hell's running the whole city of Chicago if Tom Frowley's in the hospital? Somebody's got to do a job. And I know it ain't going to be the mayor. Somebody's got to run Chicago while he's in the hospital. Oh, man. Anyways, I would love to do some tornado chasing, some big storm chasing this offseason in the summer. Telling you what, man. Scott. You better pack on another 20 pounds before you go twister chasing. You're going to be the first thing it picks up. I got to do like the in the movie Twister, where you hit a button and those screws come out of your vehicle and bolt into the ground. So you're in the tornado, but you're not getting picked up. That's what I need. That's what I need. Fralls, I'm running it from the shadows. That's a good spot to be. Johnny, what about ghost hunting? Nick, I've looked that up. The issue is I've seriously looked it up as something fun to do for content in the summer that would entertain you guys. The issue is a lot of the places, if you look up haunted places to explore in Illinois, you get a lot of cemeteries. I spent 12 years running cemeteries. That doesn't do it for me. I've seen it all, heard it all with the cemetery. So allegedly the souls are not at rest and a lady in white comes out as a ghost at night. I've seen it, heard it, and read it all with the cemeteries. The other problem is most of the haunted places in Illinois, you're not supposed to go to. They're gated. They have fencing with barbed wire around them, like abandoned insane asylums that have 5 stories and the windows are busted out. That's where I want to go hunt. But they're saying that they're locked up. They're boarded up. You're not allowed to get to them. So I don't know. Yeah, no, when I said it's a twist, I didn't mean the rapper. Chicago's very own, by the way. That's how we ended up doing stuff with Kanye West, because they're both Chicago guys. I think I saw Twister once. He was 2 hours late for the show, and I'll never forgive him. I don't care if you're a rapper or not. You start on time. 2 hours late, I got things to do. I'm not doing that. He just rolled on in there 2 hours late, whatever. Bro, you're Twister, not Paul McCartney. If Paul McCartney can start on time, so could you. You ain't at that level. You're Twista, not the Beatles, okay? Start your show on time. Anyways, yeah, find me some places to go. I want to go tornado chasing in the off season. I'll go ghost hunting, and I have something on Patreon close to all this you're going to see later in the week. Got to get over to Patreon for that content. Johnny Boy went exploring. I think you're going to like it. Okay? So let me go over one thing quickly. Give me 2 minutes, and then I'll go to your calls. We'll get you guys in. Here's the first thing on my radar. According to FanDuel, Notre Dame is the standalone favorite to win the 26th title right now. Notre Dame at plus 650, then Texas, Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon. This is so interesting to me. Adam says, how about Bigfoot hunting? That may or may not be a part of my thing coming out on Patreon in a couple days. Wait and see. Let me know what you think. I never recall a time in the modern era where Notre Dame was the favorite to win the championship. Do you? Not a sleeper, not a if everything comes together, maybe text. That's on my list. We're gonna do some fishing this summer on the camera. We're gonna talk Notre Dame while Johnny fishes, and we're gonna see what we get. Notre Dame, not a sleeper, not a hey, if everything comes together absolutely perfectly, maybe Notre Dame can make a run. No. There is real belief in Notre Dame winning the championship this year, coming from more people than just Notre Dame people. There's a lot of people that believe in Notre Dame. So then you ask, what's driving this? Belief in Freeman? Yeah, absolutely. Kent, let's go storm chasing. Me and you, buddy. Let's record it all for content. Python hunting in the Everglades. Bro, the most entertaining there was one guy that called in last year who did tours down in the Everglades for those snakes. I need to hook up with that guy. You guys know how much I hate snakes. Can you imagine me on the road with the flashlight looking for those 18-foot pythons out there? Could you imagine the content? And the final scene is just me all coiled up inside some huge snake, and it pulls me into the Everglades swamp, and you just see my skinny carcass getting all wrapped up. Unbelievable. So there's belief in Freeman. There's belief in Carr, Heisman favorite. There's belief in the roster overall. You saw that update that said Notre Dame might have the most talent of any roster. And then the schedule. So you ask yourself, what is leading all this belief? It's yes, and yes. It's all of those things. Look at how far this program has come. These same people had LSU, Penn State, Clemson last year. I would argue there were practical reasons to doubt all of those teams, though. Like Notre Dame's in a much more stable position. Like the Penn State thing was begging to fail. The LSU thing was begging to fail. People didn't want to listen. The Notre Dame thing's different. There's just not as many obvious holes that all those teams they propped up had. And, Adam, you're talking about, like, us black people run away from the storms, not towards them. Come on, Kat. Let's go. Let's go storm hunting in Ohio or Georgia, wherever you are. Here's the difference. Adam's saying those same people propped all them, not the betting people, right? Like talking heads on the internet is not the same as the national betting market. Then again, there's a bunch of people that bet on the Cubs every year for 100 years because they want them to win. I don't know if you're getting some of that or what. Here's the other thing. Then we'll go to you guys. Here's the other thing. So it's a different vibe as one of the favorites and not a sleeper team. Lots of pressure you want. But here's an issue I came up with. Some people are saying, why would you listen to the same people that have been crapping on Notre Dame since they bowed out of the Pop-Tarts Bowl? Now they're pumping Notre Dame up. Why would you believe those same people that were piling on Notre Dame for a month and a half about how immoral it was to opt out of that game? Now I'm supposed to believe them that they believe in Notre Dame. Like I said, John, name a black storm chase. Kent, why don't you be the first? Make a boatload of money. Break through some walls here. We'll get a good radar. We just need to make sure we're not directly in the path. We got to intercept at the right angle. Don't worry, I'm really good at math. I'll figure it all out. So here's my issue. You could totally rip Notre Dame, think it was wrong for Notre Dame to opt out of that bowl, hate it, really think it's a bad move by Notre Dame, totally immoral, not okay, whatever, and think Notre Dame could win the championship next year. Those things are not connected. There's nothing that says a guy couldn't say it was bad form for Notre Dame to not play the Pop-Tarts Bowl, but then objectively look at next year and be like, yeah, I think that was crappy of them, but they have one of the best rosters and one of the best quarterbacks. I think they should win it. You could do that. You could do both. Like, I don't think those are contradictory at all. So that's some pushback I've got is, why are you going to listen to these people that were all mad at Notre Dame or whatever for not playing in the bowl? You could think we should have played in it and picked Notre Dame to win it all next year. Those things don't conflict to me. One of them was an overall organizational athletic football decision, and the other one is the roster and the schedule next year. I don't see those connected. I don't see those connected, but that's just me. Maybe you do. $5 holler from the main man. John, I saw your last video. You make a lot of good points, but why do you guys keep overlooking BYU? I assure you that Freeman is not. This is a very fair point. It's a very fair point. Here's how I'm going to address it. I am not overlooking what a challenge the BYU game is going to be. But when I look at the teams Notre Dame plays, only one of them has an elite athletic roster, and it ain't BYU, it's Miami. By no means is the BYU trip going to be easy. It's going to be a tough road game. They want a piece of you. They think Notre Dame was scared to play him and didn't want to play him in the bowl game. BYU wants piece of Notre Dame. That's going to be a tough moment. That's different than me saying they have an elite physical roster. I don't believe they do. I don't believe they do. Miami's the only team Notre Dame plays that has what I consider an elite athletic roster. Okay? So that's where I'm at. The moment, you got to separate things here. The moment is going to be tough for Notre Dame, the vibe. That's different than saying they have an elite roster. That's different than playing Miami or A&M to start last year. So I don't want to I'm not disrespecting BYU, but I reject that they have an elite roster. I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that's true. Mike has a really juicy point. That's interesting. Indy's biggest obstacle is also their greatest strength, mentality. That's correct. That's correct. Mentality is the only reason I could come up with of why Notre Dame has lost some games in September they shouldn't have lost. Nobody can tell me Northern Illinois is better than, and Marshall are better than Notre Dame. It's about how you process things, how you prepare. So I don't know. Mike in Oklahoma, let's start with you. Welcome.
Morning, John. How you doing?
I'm doing really well. I'm happy to be here with all the Irish people. What's on your mind, my friend? Next year's title odds, Lou Holtz. Where do you want to go?
Absolutely. The Lou Holtz thing, the connection that you were speaking of a second ago with, the faux love that everybody's given us, from Josh Pate to Pakel to ESPN leading the charge. I've said before to a lot of people, and I had a conversation with a gentleman here on a golf course yesterday who I hadn't seen in a while about our playoff snub last year and the way it all went down in the entire season. But the thing that I told him, I said, look, and I'll tie this in with the Lou Holtz thing here in a second. The thing I told him, I says, listen, I said, and he's a big OU guy. And I said, listen, I said, here's the thing. I said, you look at the first game of the year that we lost Miami and the way that went down and everything, we can all argue whether or not Denbrock and Freeman went into that game, overly cautious with the way they let CJ Carr play and just didn't let him let it fly. If you lose, you lose. You were probably going to lose the game anyway in a lot of people's minds because Miami was a good team. It was home. You had a young quarterback that had never played. But what did you lose? You didn't lose anything because Miami ended up playing in the national championship game, so it helped your ranking and everything. So, but I told him, I said, what I would have done is I would have threw caution into the wind and I would have let him just let it fly. Let him fling it all over. What have you got to lose with a freshman quarterback in his first start in a big game? If he throws picks, people are going to say, well, he's new and all that stuff. But you still had a good enough team to keep you in the game, and it wouldn't have been a blowout. And it didn't end up being a bad loss anyway. I mean, we still had a chance to win the football game.
Let me give you the pushback to that. Whenever that gets brought up about the Miami game, the pushback was, did you see how bad our O-line was? If you dropped Carr back and told him to throw it, he'd end up in a body cast week 1. That's the pushback you'll get.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but I think they could have made some adjustments. I mean, they could have rolled him out a little bit more. I mean, just a lot of different things. Maybe even implemented a couple little quarterback runs for him. But I just think the way it went down, it was mishandled going into it. But the worst part about it is the fact that we didn't have a starting quarterback named until just a couple weeks left in the off season. But anyways. But
yeah, and hey, Mike, here's the other part. Why did you only give Jeremiah Love 10 carries in the game against Miami? If anything, if you were going to double down, it should have been 25 carries to Love and hope he pops one.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we were talking about. We kept going on with that point, and then the way the season transitioned, they looked more, remarkably better and a more open team the next week against A&M, and then after that, they started blowing the doors off of everybody. But He asked me, he said, "So do you guys think you would have beat Miami if you would have faced them?" I said, "Here's the thing." I said, we not only would have beat Miami, we would have beat them somewhat convincingly no matter where we played them. And I said, the entirety of the playoffs, we would have beat anybody that we would have faced no matter where the field was. Would we have had a little issue somewhat with Indiana? Maybe. But we would have never been out of that game. We would have had the look like we had the remainder of the season after Texas A&M. We would have had the look that we were the team that was going to win this game and going to win the national championship. At no point did any team in the playoffs this year look like the team that everybody was going to have to beat. Everybody was equal. Notre Dame, to me, would have stood out on the field. You wouldn't have been able to run the ball on us so much because you wouldn't have been able to throw on us, and you certainly wouldn't have been able to stop our running game. So on both sides of the ball, we had two components that would have gave us the look. And I think, in my mind, as I told him, I said, when you go to the Arkansas game and the fact that their athletic director is on the board of the playoff committee, the fact that we took all the money last year in the playoffs, they didn't want that to happen again. And that's and I said, look, they saw the writing on the wall. I said, this isn't just me talking. And I asked him, he said, do you think you guys would have beat us? And I said, look, I don't care what anybody says about Oklahoma's defense. Notre Dame would have ran all over you guys. You guys didn't have any offense that you faced all year. And he knew, he said, well, what about when you went to the Ole Miss game? I said, Chambliss looked fine. I said, but Ole Miss was 2 plays away from blowing out Oklahoma in Norman. I said, and the people that we were sitting around, even some Ole Miss people, couldn't believe the fact that the game was as close as it was. Because OU's defense was, spotty in that game. And this was a defense that everybody said, that was one of the top defenses. And I'm like, dude, look. And then when we went to the Tennessee game, I told him, I said, I'm sitting in this SEC stadium watching 2 SEC teams play. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, there's no way in the world either one of these teams, or Ole Miss, or anybody in the SEC, or anybody in the playoffs would have stopped our offense. And that's
Uh,
why I think I
hey,
think that
it's our fault, man. Like that's why you can't start 0-2. It's you got to be ready for the season. Like I new quarterback, new DC. You weren't ready for the season, and that's Notre Dame's fault. By the way, I'm much more offended by the outcome of the A&M game than I am the Miami game. Like I felt like Miami legitimately earned that in a tough played game. They made the few plays you needed to win it. I'm way more mad about what we allowed A&M to do at home. So this is all our fault. All of this, if we played you again, we would have beat you, and we could have done. You can't start out the way we did. Tough lesson to learn. We weren't ready, and you paid the price.
yeah, and that that's kind of where we ended. And I said, listen, I said it good. I said all this was in our hands. I said we just let it slip away. And I told him, I said, but I don't think this year that happens. I think this year, I think as Marcus Freeman has learned in his couple of years that he's been there, I think he knows now. He knew a little bit last year, but I think he knows now. You got to be more prepared and all that. But anyway, so on the Lou Holtz thing and the ESPN love and everything, this is where this thing goes with me living in the Midwest, living in Sooner, the heart of Sooner Nation and Longhorn Nation and all that other stuff, and just in general, as you know, and everybody listening knows, everybody comment in the chats knows, you wear a Notre Dame shirt or a Notre Dame hat and you walk around, you get attention from football people or sports people. You get attention like nobody else, and this is kind of why this is a once in a lifetime thing in sports, where an icon like Lou Holtz will have a quote unquote streamed or televised, wake, funeral, all that. It's him, it's Notre Dame, it's nobody else. I mean, maybe Bear Bryant. Obviously, if we were in an age where Newt Rodney passed and we lived in this time of media and everything, it would have took something that big. But Notre Dame alone catapults, the a funeral or something like that for Lou. It catapults us into the mainstream media. It doesn't matter the time. It doesn't matter, where you are. Notre Dame is what it is. It's a campus, it's an image, it's a thought, it's a lifestyle that nobody can match. Nobody. And this is why last year, as soon as we got the snub, they railed on us. They railed on us for not going to the Pop Tarts ball. And let's just be honest. The reason they're not mad because Notre Dame opted out of a bowl game. They're not mad because we refused an invitation to any bowl game because of the playoff snub. Here's why they're mad. They're mad that we didn't go to the Pop Tarts Bowl because they wanted us to lose. They wanted to mock Marcus Freeman dancing with a Pop Tart and standing by a stupid toaster and taking a bite of an oversized cake. That's what they wanted. They lost that opportunity. It was a double down for them. We snubbed you from the playoffs. Now let's mock you for going to this stupid bowl. Make fun of the coach. Make fun of Notre Dame. Not to mention, what would have happened if we would have lost that game? Oh crap!
Yeah.
You want to talk about railing on Notre Dame? It would have never ended.
And
And the only way it would have ended
the
if we
tough
would have won
part
the national
about it is
championship this year.
the tough part is Notre Dame would add a lot of their main players opting out for the NFL. And then you're in a really bad spot because then you're saying you were a playoff team and you got snubbed. Then you would be in the Pop Tarts Bowl, but all your best players wouldn't play. And then it was all a horrible dynamic. And I'm ready to move on from it all. What do you think about this year? What do you think of those title odds? What's your thought on this year?
Yeah, I'm probably in your camp. I don't think we lose a game. And let's just be honest. To these people calling in, I'm speaking just to the Notre Dame people, and that includes the people in this forum that are texting and that will call in from time to time. I want you on paper to do your homework, and I want you to tell all of us why we have to be intimidated on any level about Wisconsin, Michigan State, or BYU. You guys keep saying don't overlook, don't overlook. Okay, do the math for us. You tell me why we have to not overlook BYU or Wisconsin or whatever. Give me a freaking break. You can't name me. You can't name me who their quarterback is. You can't name me who their running back is.
Northern Illinois. That's the answer. If that's what's in people's heads.
Notre
Dame's had a September issue under Freeman. And I think people don't forget that. So you can't overlook anybody because this program under Freeman has had September slip-ups against lesser talent. And I believe people are still freaked out about that and don't want to cross off anything as a win.
I understand that totally, but we're not talking about Rice. We're not talking about Purdue or Northern Illinois upsetting us. They're speaking about these teams as don't overlook teams because they think they're good teams, is what I'm saying. And in my mind, listen, I'm sorry, I got the rolled up sleeves mentality this season. I got the hat. I'm 61 years old. I got the hat backwards, the rolled up sleeves mentality. I got the scorched earth. I got the take no prisoners from week 1 of the season. I'm running up the score. I'm fourth quarter and we're up by 6 touchdowns. I'm kicking 70-yard field goals. I don't care what it is. And all the way through the season and then through the playoffs, all the way to national champ. That's my mentality. Take no prisoners, scorched earth. You got a chance to run it up. Run the freaking scoreboard up. Humiliate your opponent.
Mike, haven't we learned you kind of need to do that? Notre Dame went on a 10-game winning streak and it wasn't enough to get in the playoff. Like the message has kind of been sent. If you're Notre Dame, you better pile it on everybody.
Yeah, and I know the schedule kind of sets up that way. There's no quote unquote, major blue blood powerhouse teams that are going to roll out this year, from Wisconsin to Michigan State. SMU's they're kind of cute. BYU's cute. Miami's going to have some leftovers from this year. So there's not going to really be anybody, as and everybody knows, there's not going to be anybody that's going to elevate our quote strength of schedule. I don't care about that. I'm not even looking at strength. I don't care about the strength of schedule. If we are who we say we are, run it up. Every game, run the damn scoreboard up. Leave no doubt. Make everybody talking about us. Make us the team that we think we are and we say we are. Make us that team in image, in result, all that. Just blow the hell out of everybody out. Run roughshod this season. Yeah, I mean, not only because we have to, but I think that's who we are. I think we are going to be a powerhouse, not only on offense, but obviously on defense. I think we're going to be the best team, not only on paper, but on the field. And that's the thing that pisses me off about last year. After the first 2 games, we were the best team on the field. There was no doubt. I mean, you saw it. I saw it. I saw other teams. I saw 4 SEC teams last year, and I know head and shoulders, we were the best team in college football last year.
I'm not saying that. I thought we could compete with anybody, but I wasn't sitting there saying I think we're the best, but I thought we could compete with anybody. Sure. I just wanted to see the experiment.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were denied that, but I'm a little different, John. I live in an area where I'm tired of OU fans. I'm tired of Texas fans. They think they're SEC country down here. And truth be honest, they're misfits of the SEC. I gotta live with these salty guys down here. And my attitude is, look, dude, I'm telling you right now, we were the best team last year in my eyes, and we're the best team this year, and we're gonna show it.
Mike, I feel like you've had some pent up frustration that had to get out, man. If you got to let it out, brother. Dude, I feel like this was cathartic, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm going to the Michigan State game, and I'm probably going to fly out to the North Carolina game, and let's just keep it real. Don't mess with the Irish this year. Don't mess with me. If you see me this year and I'm wearing a Notre Dame hat, which I normally do, or a Notre Dame shirt, and you got beef and you want to say something, you better have your facts and you better get ready to go to war because I'm not backing down.
I like it, Mike. I like it. Represent us down there in SEC country. Mike, really good call to start off the week. Call again, man.
Damn straight, baby. Love you, John. Love your show, man.
Thanks a lot. Ooh, he had a lot to say, man.
If you have hate in your heart, let it out.
Oh, man. Rodney, good morning, brother.
Hey, man. What's up, John? How you doing, man? It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I know Lou Holtz was special to you, Rodney, and you haven't been able to join since his passing. I would love to know if you have any thoughts.
Well, first of all, I was trying to find it this morning and I couldn't, but I know I have it. There's back in the day, like between 1993 and 95, my buddies and I, who are all theater majors and whatnot, did these skits. We would do these skits that we would film. And it was called Assorted Silliness. And we have tons of episodes on YouTube. And there was, well, two in particular you'd be interested in. One was a Lou Holtz one I did, an impression of Lou Holtz. And the other one was a Lee Corso. I found the Lee Corso one. I can't find the Lou Holtz one, but I know I have it. I just got to sift through them. So I'll send you the link of those when I find both of them. But anyway, John, that was my era, obviously, the Lou Holtz era. I mean, I was 13 when they won the national title. I really started getting into Notre Dame football. I think it was right around the time. I remember, man, it was when Tim Brown ran back the punt return to the 17-yard line against USC, and that was in '86. And that was and then we won that game. We came back by being 17 down in the fourth quarter to win that game. And that was the game that kind of marked the comeback of Notre Dame football, because we ended up like 5-6 that year, but many of those losses were like by 2 or 3 points. But that was the game that kind of signified, okay, here comes Lou Holtz, right? And then, of course, we know how all that went down over the five. There were so many, mostly up, obviously. I think the '89 season, if I'm not correct, someone tell me if someone's schedule passed this, but I believe for the long time that schedule's held up as the toughest schedule in the history of college football. And that was why it was such a hard pill to swallow. Even though Miami beat us very handily in that Orange Bowl game, no one was beating Miami in the Orange Bowl back then, man. It didn't matter who you were. No one was beating Miami in the Orange Bowl. I think Florida State got them when they played at Florida State that year. But taking that game away, I believe it was the toughest schedule in the history of college football, at least going into the year, something like that. So not only did Lou win the national title, but he finished number 2 twice. In '89 and '93. That's a major accomplishment. Those, what was it, 23 wins in a row or something like that. And the guy was, I think they say, along with Coach Valvano at NC State basketball, like him and Lou Holtz were two of the, most charming and funniest guys in sports around that time. And I saw Josh Pates honoring him and I really appreciated him doing that. He was talking about in terms of in the construct of college football final, the Mark May, Lou Holtz stuff and Reese Davis. That was kind of the introduction of Lou Holtz to those of us who were younger, and what a lot of fun that was. Seeing those two go back and forth, Mark May always putting Notre Dame down, Lou Holtz always defending their honor, even though, it was somewhat tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
So I just, and then just in terms of life, Lou will always drop some lessons of life, always about, just how to live your life, the right way to go. We talked about the 3 rules of life, in terms of believing in yourself, doing it to the best of your ability, always doing the right thing and showing people that you care. It sounds simple, man, but really he's right. We do try to overcomplicate things, and it really does come down to those 3 pillars. So anyway, I just wanted to honor Lou Holtz, man. He meant so much to me growing up. What a character. Just what a character. And I mean that in the highest possible compliment, man.
Yeah. Yep. It's been really heartwarming to see on social media, everybody posting their relationship with Lou, their little Lou story, former players, former media, former coaches. It's been really, really cool to see just how far his reach is in the landscape. I think it's really special. And again, Rodney, you'll appreciate this. The way I look at it is We grew up with Lou being our big introduction to Notre Dame and college football. My dad's generation grew up with Era, and my grandfather's generation had Frank. It's just like those are like the last three main generations. And you look at the three men that were in charge of the place. These are just special people.
Yeah, and I think you can include, I think Marcus is going to be included in that when it's all said and done. I really do. And so now we're seeing that full circle moment. It's very, very interesting, man, that at a time when the media is finally caught up to where Notre Dame football is, best odds to win the playoff or whatever, best roster, and Lou passes away. And this is we talked about it last year. It was starting to feel that way, but this team is so similar to that 93 squad going into the year, the one that we're about to see. It's just interesting, man, how, Lou passes. If we didn't need a little bit more pressure on Marcus Freeman this year going into it, this is a big year, man, for college football in general. We're seeing Nick Saban and Bevacqua talking to Congress or whatever. I got to watch that, by the way. I saw a couple minutes of it the other day, and then I had to head out the door. So I got to rewatch some of those things that were said. But it's just really interesting, man, these full circle moments that happen. I think this is going to be the best that Notre Dame football's been in a while.
Yep.
I don't see Freeman leaving in the next few years, John. I think maybe I can see him leaving anywhere between year 8 and 10, to be fair. But I don't think it's going to happen next year. I don't think it's going to happen the year after that. But I do think it's going to happen. Obviously, it's going to happen eventually. So I just think that these next few years are so important and, for where Notre Dame football is going to be. And I'm just really here for it, man. It's like, it's about time, I said before, John, a few years ago, I said, would you rather see Notre Dame just win one championship, but then the rest of the years are kind of like, mediocre years, 8-4, 9-3, 7-5. And you said you would take that. I get that. And I'm not saying I'm not necessarily agreeing with you on that, but it's really nice at least to see that Notre Dame's back to that status of, they're among the big boys now.
Yeah, competing every year, every year.
Yes.
I get it. But the scenario you propose me, if I knew what the options were, I'm taking the title. Titles live forever, man.
I get it. I understand that.
I ain't here to be really pretty good, second, third place, fourth place every year. I will take the one and deal with whatever else comes.
But I'll tell you what, man, I'll put a bet down on it. I'm not a guy that throws a lot of money around, but I really believe Freeman will win a title before he's done here. I really feel that way. It could be this year, but I really believe it's going to happen. It just feels too right. I don't know how to explain it, man. There's too many good things happening within the program culturally. You and I both know, John, the biggest obstacle I thought we had wasn't Freeman and his ability to recruit or his ability to coach people up. It was, can he get the higher ups to be on the same page? He did that in a matter of 2 years, John.
Yep.
It's
a big deal. It's a big deal. Getting that, God bless that lady that's the new liaison between football and academics. They need to, if Freeman wins the title, they need to build that lady a gold statue too.
Well, we also, going back to the end of the Lou Holtz era, when Father Malloy and Mike Wadsworth took over, those wwere dark times for Notre Dame football, man. Dark times.
Pat Cotter's been really upset about
he was so right about that, man. I want to talk to Pat about that because, boy, I remember that my dad could not stand those two, man.
Yes.
Couldn't stand them.
Dude, Pat has been I think hurt that Lou passed, and then it turned into anger. He's just been texting me. This is all making me remember the 40 years of darkness those two guys led us into when they ran Lou out of here and what it's been since and how we had to dig out of it. So, Pat's been on that train ever since the Lou thing happened.
Well, and Lou even, I think it affected Lou to some degree because while I do believe he was pushed out at the same time, Lou admitted he lost his motivation to some degree, where it was not losing or, winning every game became, well, let's just be 10-2. You know what I mean? He said, I don't remember what the quote was exactly, but it was something like that. They got him to believe that. And he felt like his own standards were dropping. And that was one of the reasons he left. But it was all because of that really toxic toxicity at the top of Notre Dame football. And they really set the program back a long time, man. Sure. But anyway, God bless the fact that we're back in the right direction again. I feel like everybody's pushing the same direction right now, which is, I mean, say what you want about Bevacqua, man, but he loves Notre Dame football, man. And he loves Notre Dame. I mean, it's not just the football, it's the sports, the other sports too, and the academics and all that. I mean, it was kind of cool to hear Nick Saban talk about that the other day. Like I said, I did hear some of what he said, and he was talking about, we've forgotten that it's about the academics too. I was glad to hear him say that, because it really is, man. It's like the fact that we have lost so few players to the transfer portal, John, that we're not just bringing in, I think it's such a healthy ecosystem we're living in right now with, you lose 7 or 8 guys, you bring in 7 or 8 guys. That seems about right. And they seem like the right kind of guys we're bringing in anyway, but yet it's still a build-up culture from the bottom up, recruiting, developing. I don't know. I just, and I got to give Signetti credit for that too. Even though he's brought in a lot of transfers, he's obviously got players to buy in. But I really do believe, man, from a cultural standpoint, no one's doing it better than Notre Dame right now.
Yep. I'm Rodney. God, man, some of you guys are nailing one of my videos I'm putting out on Patreon. It goes over a lot of what you're saying about the timing feels right and the way the program's been built and all the stability in multiple different areas on and off the field. Like all of that built, that this is all building this, the dramatic, the dramatic negatives we've had that are so public and so big and so hurtful, some of which are our fault. I'm not playing victim here. Notre Dame's responsible for starting 0-2 and not being ready. But all of it, you're like, is this all building to something at the end? And it just feels like we're there.
Yeah. And look, there's more parity now than there's been in years. There's no question. I mean, teams like Oregon and Texas, obviously Ohio State's been there. You wondered, is Clemson going to have a resurgence at some point when Dabo gets out of his own way? You know what I mean? Things like that. Yeah. Obviously, the ascension of Indiana. There's a lot of competition right now. But I just would be at this point, shocked would be too strong of a word, but I would be surprised if Notre Dame doesn't win one in the next 3 years.
Oh, I hope so. You got to get Freeman to stay. So it's 1 year at a time, and you worry about the Freeman dynamic 1 year at a time. Rodney, it's great to hear from you. I knew you would have some Lou Holtz thoughts, and I'm just excited to see everybody in 47 days, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. All right, John, have a good one, buddy.
Hey, we'll see you. Thanks for checking in, Rodney. Really appreciate that. I believe, I don't know if Holtz's funeral is on TV, but I think it's being streamed on YouTube, on Notre Dame's YouTube account, I believe. Am I right? I think it's being live streamed on the Notre Dame account, so you could watch it there. We're gonna go to Adam. Let's get Adam in and out, because I know he's probably busy with the kids, and then I'm gonna address Commander here. Adam, good morning, bro.
Good morning, my man. How we?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We're in a weird place. You're sad about Lou. You want to know what's going to come next on the field, but you got about 7 months to worry. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's kind of that bittersweet, kind of time frame right now. I mean, just dealing with the off season in general, but then, losing Lou, and I've just had a lot of, I think, the same feelings that I've been hearing and listening to since he passed. And, whether it was from mainstream media, the memories from ex-players and teammates and whatnot, as well as, folks like yourself and who you've been bringing on. It's been really, I know he was 89 or whatever, but it's still sad, and it still brings up a lot of childhood memories, that 88 season, of course, and all the famous quotes that he had, and just things, the way he led his life. And I think that was something that really resonated with me, especially being a father of 2 young boys, and trying to, go through this journey and figure out what's the best way to
I can't understand you.
Where'd you go, Adam?
I can't understand you.
Show us your face. We want to see your face.
Who said that? You want to see my face?
Come on, brother.
Who said that? You want to see my face? Adam, what happened? I don't know what happened. You're going to have to rejoin.
Okay,
Renee,
hold on,
what's going on, bro?
Hey, John, how are you? Can
What's
you hear
up?
me? None. Just kind of woke up in a bad mood, man. But so I don't want to be a jerk to the stat to it.
Well, you got to hit whatever that magic trick is to make me hear you. You got to do it.
1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Let me. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Let me climb down real quick. 30 feet. Okay, let me get down. And right now, here, let me just say it real quick. Because I know I don't want to be I don't want to be a jerk to you. I don't want to be a jerk to you or to the chat or to anybody else. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. Even though it's beautiful and sunny, I got a lot to be grateful for. But no, I seen your video and I was really excited for the chat this morning in the show. Because whether Johnny, when I tell you, and I was talking to Liam yesterday, and I've been talking to Kevin, and I was talking to my girlfriend. Your show really helps us out, man, because it's like men need other men that they relate to on things to be around them. You know what I mean? Especially in my trade where it's so hectic, man. So let me just say that out there. But as far as like, could you say we should be undefeated by the time we get to Miami? And I don't disagree with you. Okay, when you guys say put the numbers and put the bodies and put all that, and I'm not, and as far as Mike, the first caller, no disrespect to him, but we keep talking about we would have. The selection was done 3 months ago. The opt out of the bowl was done 3 months ago. It's done. We keep beating the dead horse. We will never see this running back go. We know these things, and I'm not trying to be rude, but it's like, okay, have we talked about the incoming transfers, about how great Marcus was when he was patient, when we were all panicking about the transfer portal and not getting the guy from Michigan State, and then you finally have heard Charlie Partridge and the D line guys speak, and it's like, man, listen to how eloquent and educated, and this is why they waited, and this is what makes Notre Dame. And no, we don't lower the standards. And I love Rodney, I do, but the fact and people are right. Like, why are we going off of what these pencil neck talking heads on the internet are the same ones that were talking us down? And Rodney says something real good. I'm sorry that I'm kind of talking fast. I gotta hurry. Rodney says it best, like Nick Saban. Nick Saban said, "Guatemalans." I agree with him, Nick Saban, because of who he is. But when did Nick Saban, you can really tell me, gave a shit about that? I know it seems crazy, but he left because he knew he couldn't compete against this NIL era. Notre Dame is the one school that is doing it correct. He is. And I'm going to get to my point in a second. He is, Notre Dame is the one school that's doing it correct. You see from Charlie Partridge in the interview and all the defensive lines and how they're talking, how they sound educated, how they sound like they're Notre Dame fits. My hat off, even more respect and love and admiration for that man and how he's putting things together. Okay. And as far as the NIL, I was against it probably just as much as the next old school Dabo Swinney type thinking guy. I seen a story yesterday on Reynolds that was at Michigan. Said he was at Michigan for 4 years, then goes to Utah State. Mind you, I got a soft spot for Utah State because some of the guys I coached played there. One kid in particular, big gang member, ends up going to Utah State, becoming a team captain. Asked his girlfriend to marry him on senior night. Such a success story for that boy. So I got a soft spot for Utah State. He goes to Utah State, ends up having this phenomenal season. This kid that I'm watching yesterday, not the kid that I coached. Hands down, I think winning wise, one of the best stories, one of the best seasons that Utah State ever had. And now he said it's not all about money with all of them. That's probably about 1 to 10% of them. But the rest of them still want to just legitimately play football, and they can't stay loyal to programs that have moved on from them. You know what I mean? So I don't disagree with that. But Nick Saban just crying because he couldn't win in it. Because like and Ed Ogeron said it best and put all that SEC on blast. And I get it. I get what's his name that was on first. You're in SEC country. I get it, bro. But try being in Mormon country, having Notre Dame stuff on at the richest town per capita in Highland, Utah, at a gym where every other person has BYU shit on. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a competition, but the thing is, I say it, John, and thank you because you answered it. Why not overlook these guys? NIU, exactly. Plain and simple. There you go. NIU. NIU is the reason why you don't overlook anybody at all, ever, at any month of the year. You know what I'm saying? And as far as numbers goes, last I checked, okay, like I said, I'm not rooting against Carr because I had a conversation with Liam and Dev and Coach Val on the chat and everybody else that I talked to outside. I'm not rooting. I'm rooting for him. I love that he shows no emotion. He doesn't get down. I love all those things. But who have you beat that is elite? If you were given 30 RPOs, or RPO is, and I'm not going to talk about this no more. RPO means run, pass, option. Hand the fucking ball off to the best running back in America. You didn't because you had the option. You were given the option to. Sorry, bro.
Watch your profanity.
So the same talking heads that are saying that this is the front runner for the Heisman. This is the front runner for the draft. Duh, are the same ones that were signed, sealed, delivered, and Marcus Freeman was gone already. And Notre Dame's run is over. So you can't have it both ways. You can't. All I'm saying is let's move forward. Let's not overlook the teams. Wisconsin, man, has a winning tradition because Barry Alvarez gave him a winning tradition. NIU, I think a few years prior, had went like 14-0. I think you remember, you know this, John. They won the MAC. They went 14-0, and so and they have a coach that truly believes in what he's doing at NIU, just like Marcus has what he truly believes. Now, the reason why yes, I do have a soft spot for BYU because I live here. I have close friends there. I have people that I've played with, gone there. Yes, but I also do know that them boys go there because their values as men, God, family, their church means a lot to them, and that's what they're fighting for. Other than in 2005 and a few series for them, Kalani is there. Kalani is no different from Marcus. They will go through walls for Kalani Sitake. Last I checked, BYU lost their stud quarterback, and their Bear comes in, their Catholic Bear Bryant quarterback, and it has the best season they've had in the Big 12. Now, like I said, so they lost one stud, they replaced another stud. Unfortunately, that's what's happening again. They're going to replace him again. Now, as far as the bowl game, why do we play him in the bowl game? It would have been a great shot. It would have been a great opportunity to see what the ones that come after Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, where's their development at? It would have been a true testament to showing where's the development at behind those dudes. That's all I'm saying, John. Look, John, I didn't mean to throw all that out there. I love you. It's a Monday. I'm kind of pissed. I'm ready to go off on my foreman and tell him to kick rocks. But I heard the things. Like I said, no disrespect. I love you guys. Those are my points, though. Those are my points and why I've made them. I think it's just important we move forward and just and if we are elite, let it show. Let it show when Miami comes in and SMU made the playoff 2 years ago. Let's not forget that, man. And BYU always comes with their A game against us, bro. Because they're fighting for on the field. They're fighting for what they believe in their program. Okay, John, I love you, man. I'm just
Hey,
sorry.
have a good one. Thanks for jumping in.
Yeah,
Can't
onward,
wait to see
Notre
you
Dame.
play. Have a good Monday. Take care. Man, people got a lot to get off their chest today. Commander. Oh, boy. Here we go. I don't want to get into this, but we're going to have to a little bit. Kelly won 10 games 5 years in a row, and that's considered not good enough. But Freeman wins 10, and it's a hypothetical title team. You are either intentionally or unintentionally ignoring a lot of things. This is what cracks me up with Twitter and YouTube. The comments. You can ignore a lot of other factors and only include the ones that fit your immediate narrative, but ignore 10 other factors that should be considered. But you can only grab the parts you want to fit the angle and ignore all the other ones. Here's the pushback to this. Kelly won 10 games in a year, 5 years in a row. That's considered not good enough. Freeman wins 10 and it's a hypothetical title team. Here's a couple things to consider. Number one is every single Kelly season, even the best ones, ended in embarrassing blowouts. Freeman's teams have lost, but they are not by 3 touchdowns on the big stage. There's a difference. So when you talk about winning 10 games or more 5 years in a row, true, but there was always a humiliating beatdown that reminded you weren't close in all of those seasons, even the best ones. And you could say Notre Dame ran up into generational teams in the playoff or whatever. But every one of these 8, Commander, a single-digit loss is not considered a blowout. I don't know by what definition a single-digit loss is considered a blowout. So now you're moving things on me because now it's going to be, well, it felt like Ohio State was killing us and they were winning by a lot and then they pulled off or whatever. At the end of the day, a single-digit point loss in the championship game is not a blowout. It's not. 31 unanswered points is a blowout in my standards. So now the final score doesn't matter. It's what you think matters. The final score doesn't matter. It's what you think of it that matters. But so Kelly had the problem of getting blown out in every year. Kelly also had the program of never winning a postseason game that mattered. That's a big deal at Notre Dame. So if you want to say Freeman just had one good up year, fine. That's more than Kelly had. Winning multiple playoff games got Freeman a lot of credibility there. It got him a lot of credibility there. But like now we're changing things where you're saying a single, what was it, an 8-point loss? An 8-point loss? You guys on that side are going to move whatever I'm going to say and move it. Andrew Gilmore, how can you compare the beginning of Freeman to Kelly? The first 4 years is the first 4 years, but that doesn't count because Kelly had to inherit a dumpster fire or whatever, so that doesn't count. And we're moving that goal line. But then we're also not going to give Freeman any grace for having to totally redo a roster that was nowhere near elite at all. We're not counting that rebuilding. We're only counting Kelly's rebuilding. This is all up to personal interpretation. It's all up to personal interpretation of how you want to look at these. So, but I'm struggling with, like, we got to give Kelly grace because he inherited a dumpster fire, but Freeman, and the people that said Freeman inherited a playoff winning roster were drunk. Absolutely drunk. That roster was nowhere near where it needed to be.
Drugs and alcohol.
I'm just telling you, man. And then here's the other thing you gotta keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is some of this isn't on a stat sheet. Okay? People didn't like Kelly. People around Notre Dame didn't like Kelly. People in the administration didn't like Kelly. Didn't like Kelly. That's a part of the narrative. You could say it's not, or it doesn't matter, or the record, whatever. People didn't like Kelly. So I don't know why it's so hard for people to understand. People are more open to the shortcomings of a guy that works hard and treats people the right way over a guy who doesn't win elitely and doesn't work hard and treat people the right way. Like, I don't understand how people don't understand that. Like, it's the most human element ever. If a guy you feel is representing something you love and he tries hard and treats people the right way, that people are more forgiving of that guy than a guy that doesn't win elitely and treats people like crap. And every text message I got said the guy refuses to fire up the jet and go recruit. He doesn't want to talk to donors, John. He doesn't want to do it. He can't be bothered. Those are way different things. They're way different things. And if you're ignoring that part of it because I can't measure it on a win-loss ledger, you're just not open to the big picture there. Give Kelly the transfer portal in his 4 years. 22 was 100% Freeman's ball. Didn't get a wide receiver and a quarterback. Okay, the guy made mistakes. Like, that's not really that big of a condemnation that a guy struggled in his first year as a head coach. That's like not a huge knock that a guy maybe struggled his first year as a head coach and it happened to be at Notre Dame. That's not even a knock to me. That's just a reality. I don't know, man. I don't know. This debate is, it is really tiresome. It is. Oh, man. John, you can't be so naive to believe that man didn't recruit or do his job. You don't know the people I know, Ket. You do not know the people I know. You're just like over on the LSU channel. People were accusing me. You do not know who I know. You do not know the people that text me, John, we can't get this guy to fire up the jet and recruit. John, I am at this donor benefit thing and Kelly's sequestered in the back and doesn't want to talk to anybody donating money. Those are the messages I was getting. Those are the messages I was getting. You don't know who I know. So years of me hearing these things, it is what it is. It is what it is. Kelly, the last 4 years at Notre Dame, 44-6, 1 home loss. Freeman, first 4 years, 43-12, home losses each year. Also on Kelly's list, not treating people the right way, not trying hard, treats everyone like crap, never won a major bowl game. Like, we could do this all day. You nitpick all the stuff that favors your argument. I'll nitpick all the stuff on the other side. We could do this all day. We could do it all day. We could just do it all day. It's just, we could do it all day. This is not a defense of Kelly. It's more questioning why so many fans think Freeman's indispensable. Andrew, you're a really smart guy. It's the true or false. Is the recruiting for Notre Dame at the highest level it's been in the modern era right now? True. True or false? Has Notre Dame won more major bowl games under Freeman than they have the last 30 years combined over with anyone else? Is that true or false? It's true. So, like, Andrew, if your point is you think the infrastructure's in place that Freeman could move on and the next guy would have those benefits and it would be just as good, you could make that argument. You could make that argument, but it's not hard to see the recruiting is the best it's been. And they've won more major games than they've won in the last 30 years combined under Freeman. I don't know why it's that hard to see people value Freeman. What am I missing? So, I don't know. John, you shot your argument down. Kelly not trying hard, but a better record. No. Let me ask you this. When you combine all those things about the record and like Freeman's early season struggles, I need Freeman to be better at home and all that. That's all true, right? But are you going to argue overall record in a certain amount of time as being more important than major bowl playoff wins? That's where I don't see the argument contradicting itself at all. Like, are you going to value all of those compiled wins, but there's no major bowl wins and a blowout in every single season? And you're going to value more that overall window of wins and not the other stuff? I just think we could do this all day. All day. Now, I will say this. I do give Kelly a lot of credit. He did inherit a program in a dark spot. He did a lot of work in the beginning to try and build it up. And he got it to a really respectable, at least national level. I'm willing to give Kelly credit for that because he deserves that. That is true. Kelly deserves credit for that stuff. He does. But there became a point where more was required and he wasn't willing to do it. He wasn't willing to do it. What, John? Major bowl wins, no playoffs during Kelly time at Indy. He made the playoff. He just got blown out. I don't know. Again, all right. We're just nitpicking everything I say, dance around it in your mind to come up with an opposite argument. That's what we're doing right now. Those major wins all happened in 24. I don't consider beating USC a major win in 25. They lost at Illinois in 24. The big win was Georgia, but Penn State was... Go ahead. Nitpick everything I present as evidence. Go to the other side and nitpick it to point it out. Now, playoff wins aren't that big of a deal. I'm just struggling to understand. I don't know. So would we rather have Kelly's first 4-year overall record and no major bowl wins and a blowout in every year? Are we saying that's better? To have an overall better winning record, but one blowout in every year and no major bowl wins. Is that the argument that that's better? Whatever, man. I will never understand people. It's really, really hard to defend a guy that didn't treat people the right way and refused to do the job. That's all I'm saying. I just can't. I don't know. John, you're losing the argument. I'm not losing the argument. People are nitpicking the things that go outside of it and changing all the parameters of the debate to go against me. That's not me losing the argument. So whatever. And you want to know what else? You want to know what the ultimate proof is that I win the argument? What happened with Kelly at LSU? What happened with Kelly at LSU is the ultimate proof I won the argument. Different place, better infrastructure, more favorable to football, every resource you could need, and the same exact problem at Notre Dame happened. That ultimately proves my argument more than anything else. Oh, well, he didn't really have the NIL support yet at Notre Dame or whatever. Come on, man. I don't know. I'm saying Freeman's resume doesn't have all these wins Kelly didn't get. So you're arguing, Andrew, value in overall wins and ignoring the ones against the top 25 and the top 10 and the playoff ones? I know you don't mean that. We're not doing that. We're just overall wins, and we're ignoring the specific record, Freeman versus Kelly against top 15, and we're ignoring the playoff wins? I can't. We're weaving all around. Cat. Mark, what's going on? Good morning.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing. I like the juice today. People are worked up.
Yeah, wasn't expected to go there, but yeah, Brad Kelly was 23-23 versus ranked teams for what it's worth, and he was 1-5 against top 10. Marcus Freeman, on the other hand, has the second best record in the country against ranked teams since he's been a coach. 3 top 10 wins in a 3-week span, and those were playoff wins to boot. R.I.P. Lou Holtz. Apparently his funeral is going to be streamed on the Basilica website, not on YouTube. They probably don't want you to be able to comment and mess it up, I'm guessing, or I don't know what's going on with that. I think that's where they typically stream the mass anyways. I love being a favorite. I think getting this recognition, I think it goes a long way. I think it says a lot. I don't worry about, what it means. I don't think they should kind of shy away from it. And Lou Holtz kind of said it all the time, watching a lot of his speeches where he had 9 consecutive seasons of title contention into the end of the year. And I think that's kind of what we're looking at from here on out. Freeman's looking at his third. And I found this stat. When I think of Lou Holtz, I always think of Bobby Bowden, but Bobby Bowden had 14 straight seasons finishing in the top 5 poll. And I thought that was crazy.
That's pretty
and
good.
Almost undoable ever again. And, he won 2. Of course, Lou had 1, should have had 2. But yeah, I think the biggest thing here is like the perception change. And I think, that's a testament to the roster, the coaching, and I'm excited about being a favorite. And I looked it up, and if you look at the preseason championship odd favorites and compare it to the national championship winner, now I did the top 2 of odds, and Indiana this is 20-year consensus odds. I mean, your odds of winning a title without being up there is next to none. So, this is good. And like I said, Indiana being the exception to the rule. But I'm all for it. And I'm gonna be quick. I wanted to ask you if you wanted me to do one last final men's basketball minute.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear it. It's over, right? They missed the tournament. You couldn't even. How bad do you got to be to not even be invited to your own conference tournament you're a member of? I didn't even know that was a thing till about a week ago. I just thought every loser team in the conference gets a shot and then they get knocked out.
Well, 18 teams, only 3 teams don't make it. So I got to let me get this on. I couldn't see very well on my last time, but nobody cares about this stuff except for me and JT. But, since I was last on, we managed to lose another 2 games. No, go figure. I mean, who could have imagined? And I mean, what a shit show. And for demonstration purposes, I did make a chart here because, losing 14 out of your last 17 games is kind of hard to visualize. So I did make a chart. I mean, we lost 5, won a game, lost 5, won a game. I mean, we need a pooper scooper. And I mean, what a shit show. That's a lot of poop. So I did do that because it's a total embarrassment. And you just said it, 3 teams suck so bad that they missed the conference tournament: Georgia Tech, Boston College, and Notre Dame. And yesterday, 2 of the 3 teams made coaching changes. So Pete needs to get back from Washington and handle this business. It's an embarrassment. The guy's a slob. And so this is the last time. I'm not going to do this. I know nobody cares anyways, but Pete Bevacqua, if you're watching this, look at my face. I'm not messing around. This needs to be addressed.
Yeah, get him out of here. Let's see what happens.
This guy's a bum. But yeah, shout out to the chat. I will not talk basketball on here again for a long time, if ever. I promise you. I mean, look at me. I'm not messing around. But that's all I got today. No more basketball talk. JT, let's shut it down. I'm not saying another word. I'm done with this program until I hear otherwise.
Mark, God bless you for all the work. We'll see you on Raw.
I might wear this to the tailgate.
Yeah, you should just wear it everywhere. Drive around town, go to the grocery store, just wear it wherever you go.
All right. R.I.P. Lou.
Hey, somebody asked earlier about are they going to honor Lou on the uniforms or something? Remember when Era died? The little centerpiece on the top of the helmets had Era. You got to do a Lou. You have 3-letter names that are easy to do. You have an Era and you have a Lou. You do the Lou on the centerpiece of the helmet and then get you a little Lou patch. Just get you a little Lou patch. I'm sure they're going to come up with something like that. Spicoli, what's going on?
What's the word, man? How y'all doing today? Yeah, I was just calling from work, man. I just wanted to talk about Lou for a minute and talk about meeting him at the Arkansas game and just that last chance, man, for a Notre Dame fan born in the 80s to meet up with the captain, man. And
I would love to hear about that, man. Tell me, is that a picture from the meet right there?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's it.
Tell
I
me
was,
about it. How was the aura of Lou?
oh, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's like I was listening to a bunch of like players commentate about him today and Aura yesterday and talk about the aura and just when he walked into area, how everybody popped up, man. And you know what I'm saying? Like 89 years old and he still had it, bro. And when he had, I think he had Frank Stamms and there was a few offensive players there that night, and his son Chip was there also. So after I got to meet with Lou, my girl, and me, and we got some pictures, I didn't want to take too much time, man. So the lady that was like his caretaker videotaped me talking to her for a minute, and I just started out telling him how he reminded me of my dad because of the moral, do the right thing, do the hard thing, and all Lou's sayings, man. My dad was pretty much in the same vein of it, so it was kind of weird that she caught it right there, and then she caught me. He noticed my legend T-shirt of his I was wearing, and I was like, "You like my shirt?" And he was like, "Yes, I do." And I was just like, Can I get a signature on my book?" And like I said, man, like everybody said, like if they met Lou for a few minutes or something, like he made them feel great, bro. I met him for like 5 minutes, wanted to be quick, and he signed my his book, and he signed it with it was great to spend some time with you, Trinity. And I was just like, bro, like to me that was like the greatest accomplishment of anything I could ever do in Notre Dame style, because it's like I never got to go to games when I was a younger guy. I started going when I was 30. And man, it was just a, full circle event for me, man. I could close the chapter on Lou. Unfortunately, we didn't get that championship before he passed, man, but I can't think of a better person, man, than, to represent our community, to represent our school, to represent our standards, I mean, it's going to be sad to not hear his voice, man, or just, I'm sure they'll show replays here and there, man, but catching refs and, arm, like grabbing refs by the head and twisting them on the field and pulling up that grass, dude. Oh, man, I'm happy that he had a blessed life. I'm glad he's back with his wife. I'm going to be definitely taking some flowers and throwing them on his site and his statue when I go to the game this year, man. So, yeah, that's
Yeah, man. You know what I've been thinking? Like, we all would have loved Lou to be around, to be able to pass the championship Notre Dame torch to Marcus, be alive to celebrate it all. Now that that's not an option, the next best thing is go win one in his honor. Like, it's right there for you, man. It's right there for you.
And like with our coaches, man, we have too many of these greats to like want to change the name to the field as, Lou Holtz Field or something like that. So I understand like them not doing anything like that. It's the house that Rodney built, and that should be the last of it, right? Because he's the OG of OGs. But
Yeah.
with Lou, man, they definitely got to do that head, the helmet deal. I know they put the ND on there now, but they got to put Lou on there. And a patch would be cool, man, but I'd rather have the Lou right on top of the helmet, man, because, I mean, take him to the top.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking the little centerpiece at the top of the face mask gets a Lou, and then come up with something a little different for a patch on the jerseys. I think that's coming. I think it'll be subtle but classy, and that's what I want them to do.
And, man, I mean, it's so cool, like, when you rewind and you go back on YouTube and you're allowed to, like, like his first locker room speech, bro. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm indebted. I hope Notre Dame feels indebted that he chose us as his favorite place to be. I mean, he's talking to the players in the locker room and all that respect talk that he talked, which I love. That's old school football. He liked people to hit the quarterback. He felt like that was part of the game. He hated NIL. He hated transfer portal. I mean, he stands for it all. I wish to God that he could have been like the commissioner himself. You know what I'm saying? If they were going to do a commissioner, I'm like, Nick Saban's all right, bro. He's the best recruiter that was maybe ever in college football, but he's not the greatest college football coach ever. That's for dang sure, bro. If it is, it's going to be one of the ND boys.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm with you on that. Hey, what games you going to this year? You going to make it to any of the tailgate games or what?
Man, I tell you, dude, my girl's best friend, like 4 years ago, got married on the game day that I was going to. So we had to miss her wedding. And now, 4 years has passed. She's moved on and found a new person. But now she's getting married on the Blue and Go game. So I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, I was going to try to make it out just for a quick trip just to say hello to the community. But it'll probably either be Rice or Stanford. And I'm thinking Rice now because if they do something for Lou on the field during the
It'd be
game,
Rice.
yeah, I want to be at that, man.
And coincidentally, that's one of our tailgate games. So you have a place to hang out.
Sick. No way. All right, definitely,
Yep.
bro. Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely gonna be at Rice then, man. I'm gonna bring my nephew too that I've brought with me for the last, 6-7 years, man.
We're gonna do blue and gold, Rice, and then the big one for Miami. So those are gonna be our tailgates.
Perfect, man. Perfect. I mean, I can't wait to meet you, bro. You're like you're like the savior of our crew, man. Like out of all the podcasters on here, I love like your energy this morning, man. I'm with you, bro. I mean, we're October boys, so we're gonna have that passion, man. So that's another reason why I wanted to catch a tailgate with y'all. And it'll be funny, man, because like I am nervous. I am a wreck before the games. Even last year before Stanford, man, we won 49-7, and I'm like worried the whole day, So like you'll probably see that same look on me like you have during games because I'm just stressed until the end of it. But Rice should be a walkthrough. Hopefully, I'm gonna knock on wood after I said that, but
I would hope so. That
yes,
we'll
sir.
see. We'll see what happens, man. Hey, Spicoli, I really appreciate. I like your vibe, man. I like your energy.
Oh, dude, I'm a Notre Dame boy. I'm wearing my crew, man. I just started this new job, man. You wouldn't believe it, man. We got a USC guy up here, and I'm wearing my Notre Dame gear, and he's like trying to come up with things to say about Notre Dame, and I'm like, bro, we're chilling on 2-0 on y'all. Y'all ducked out. You knew how weak, and he was talking about. Yeah, everybody's talking about when is USC going to be good again, and I'm like, bro, exactly. If you got to say that, your team sucks. Like Notre Dame's back on the top, and hopefully we can win that championship this year, and I can bring up a little trophy and just put it up at the at the work spot so you can admire it. But other than that, man, I'm gonna hang out and listen. Y'all take care, brother.
I appreciate you, man. I love your vibe, man. Hey, let me know if you can make it to these tailgates. I'll give everybody the details.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one, man. I like that, dude. I like that. Wait, why Miami? Kent, if you were serious about coming to Notre Dame to experience everything, you're not getting the full vibe when we're hosting Rice. You need to come when we're hosting Miami, not Rice. Like if you honestly wanted to get to campus with Johnny and see what this vibe's like, you ain't getting the full vibe for a Rice game. Conolangus Rice. You're not. You're not going to get. You're not going to get. You're not going to get. You're not going to get the same experience for the Rice game that you would get for the Miami game. I just want you to experience the whole thing here. Rice is a walkthrough. Yeah, SPF. So was Marshall. So was Stanford, and so was Northern Illinois. Those were all walkthroughs too. As in those teams walked through the door and beat Notre Dame. Those were walkthroughs too. Oh, God. All right, I got to get out of here. I got things to do. Adam, I see that you came back. I'm not going to be able to do it today. Maybe you got a phone call. I know some people, when they're on the stream and then they get a call, it kicks you off, whatever. So, Adam, I'm not going to be able to get it. Jump on Wednesday or Friday. I'll give you more runway to go over what you wanted to. I'm going to tell you this, you guys. Juicy show today. Juicy full show today. Some Lou, some debate. I love it. And all that stuff about Kelly and everything. I love it. This is the place for that. This is the point for that, for us to disagree. But at the end of the day, we all want Notre Dame to win. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the donations. We will see you on Monday Night Raw.